Here we go again. A winter storm dumps snow across New Mexico. From the metro area down to southern New Mexico, video from across the state. Plus, it's a mess on I-25 and I-40. Good afternoon. Dangerous driving conditions have been temporarily shutting down Interstate 40 in several areas today. News 13's Crystal Gutierrez begins our team coverage. She's live at I-40 in Tramway. Crystal?
Jessica, road crews began shutting down the interstate since around noon today. Now, because of one of those closures, this intersection became bombarded with traffic this afternoon. Around 2, the I-40 was reopened, but police warned if the weather gets worse, it could be shut down again. Now, around noon, state police ordered I-40 at Tramway to be closed. Eubank became the last eastbound exit open. It quickly became a nightmare as drivers sat bumper to bumper trying to get off the interstate. State police say it would have been much worse if they had let the motorists go through. Several crashes in the canyon, including semis sliding off the interstate and a fatal on New Mexico 14, were the reasons for the closure. And while police worked to clear the interstate, frustrated drivers sat in a parking lot that's once called Central Avenue.
Oh, it's a mess. It's crazy. We've been sitting on Central for 45 minutes.
Now, while the interstate is back open, state police warned that roadways around the canyon are still very slick right now, and they say if you don't have to drive out here, please don't. Back to you.
Okay, Crystal, I-40 westbound at Moriarty was also closed for a few hours today. State police reopened that stretch of the interstate just after 2 this afternoon. Bernalillo County deputies say a fatal crash in the East Mountains this morning was caused by the winter weather. It happened around 9:30 on North Highway 14 and Paco Ridge. We're told a semi-truck and an SUV with several people inside collided. One person was killed. At least one other was transported to an area hospital for treatment. For the third week in a row, the East Mountains are getting pounded, and today is just round 1. News 13's David Romero continues our team coverage from Moriarty.
Well, Jessica, you wouldn't believe it. We were at a snail's pace coming out here to the East Mountains before they closed the freeway late this morning, and we looked like we were part of a convoy. Now, bad driving conditions created a 7-mile-long stretch of semis and other vehicles in both directions on I-40. Numerous accidents didn't help either. One 18-wheeler completely slid off the road and into a fence. No one was hurt. The state police were out in force trying to keep drivers safe along the slick interstate. Storms like this aren't unusual, but some residents were caught out in the cold.
Everybody wants snow boots. We have none. No gloves, no snow boots, nothing warm.
They told us a week ago it was coming.
So you were prepared?
Yeah, I'm just so glad it didn't happen yesterday.
Always prepared, right?
Always. When you live out in the East Mountains, you never know when it's coming. You know, they talked about the big storm last week, and this one seems to be a little worse, and I never heard anything about it.
Well, he should have been watching News 13, but as you can see right now, I'm in about 5 or 6 inches deep worth of snow, and you can just imagine how much it's piling up on the freeway. The latest information that we have on I-40 is that the freeway is open, but still, state police are discouraging any kind of travel in and out of this area, especially through the canyon, so the same good advice applies as we've been telling you all day. If you don't have to be out here, stay home until conditions improve. Jessica, back to you.
Okay, David. State police say they haven't received any reports of serious injuries in any of the wrecks along I-40 this afternoon. Interstate 40 west of Albuquerque was a complete mess this morning. Take a look at this video near Rio Puerco. The snow caused the roads to become slick and icy, causing this vehicle to roll into the median. No word on the driver's condition, but the wreck did cause drivers to come to a stop, backing up traffic for quite some time. The good news, snowplows moved through to try and clear the interstate. And this storm is still not done with New Mexico. Chief Meteorologist Mark Ronchetti is tracking it.
Yeah, we take you right to the Paco Ridge Golf Club, where they have seen plenty of snow throughout the day today. The East Mountains hit very hard once again. And if there's one thing with this storm that's been very interesting to watch, it's been the snow levels, which have ended up about 1,000 feet lower than originally thought about 24 hours ago. So it's left snow along the interstates, obviously, and then as you get up higher into the East Mountains, we're dealing with snow amounts anywhere from 3 to up to about 8 to to 10 inches, depending on where you are and how high you go. And we still are dealing with watches and warnings out there. Now winter storm warnings for the East Mountains out along the I-40 corridor to Klein's Corners, and then along the east slopes of the Sangre de Cristos through the Raton and I-25 corridors as well. Winter weather advisories across the rest of northern New Mexico, to exclude the Albuquerque area, where we haven't been quite cold enough to really crank up a whole lot in the way of snow. We also have winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings, northern Sierra County and into the Sacramentos and northern Gila as well. Here's a look at satellite and radar for us, and you can see that moisture continuing to come up and push through the state, especially along the east slopes of the Sangres right now. We are starting to see some dry air, though, being trained into this storm right here. See that area where you're not seeing any radar echoes? That's because the storm's starting to draw in a little bit of that dry air. We're still going to continue to see the scattered showers in the metro area after sunset. Accumulating an inch or two of snow was not out of the realm of possibility for the Albuquerque area. Across the north and east, difficult driving from Las Vegas up through Wagon Mound, Springer, and Raton at this hour. Northern mountains socked in by heavy snow. I-40 corridor is a bit of a mess as well. Southeastern New Mexico mainly dealing with scattered rain showers out there. Sacramento's looking at steady snows, reports of close to a foot, and areas like Cloudcroft, and then steadier rains around Doña Ana County and into Luna County as well. Full forecast is on the way.
All right, thank you, Mark. Well, Santa Fe got hit pretty good by this snowstorm. This is video from downtown where the wind mixed with the snow made difficult driving conditions there. The snow did stick to the ground, making driving and walking difficult. South of Santa Fe, many drivers had to pull over on I-25 because of dangerous driving conditions. As you can see from this video, the roads were completely covered with snow, and many drivers told us they were slick. We also came upon one single car rollover. There were no injuries. One driver was thinking about turning around after pulling over.
We're heading to Rio Rancho, but we're thinking about turning back around and going home.
It looks pretty dangerous out here.
It is. I think it is.
From Las Vegas to here, I already stopped 3 times.
How bad is it right now for you guys?
It's real bad for us everywhere. The weather is getting worse and worse.
The New Mexico Department of Transportation is reporting difficult driving conditions from La Bajada to Bernalillo. Rio Rancho also got hit with the winter weather, although it didn't get a whole lot of snow. The snowfall was constant, but it wasn't enough to stick on the roads. South of Rio Rancho and Belen, a little more action with this storm. A few inches of snow have fallen there, causing schools to close early. Roads were slushy, but traffic was moving smoothly. And one of the hardest hit spots in the state is the Sacramento Mountains. Early this afternoon, the ski resort outside of Cloudcroft was reporting 8 to 10 inches of snow, and it's still coming down. There were near whiteout conditions throughout the mountains in Otero County. Some roads didn't see a plow for most of the morning. This storm could drop well over a foot of snow by the time it's done. For updated road conditions, call the state's hotline at 511. Difficult conditions are reported right now throughout New Mexico. And be sure to stay with KRQE News 13 for continuing coverage of this winter storm. You can find information about school closures or delays at the bottom of your screen.